Hello and welcome to the launch of It's Here, Brain Unchained. It's the day of celebration. I'll apologise to anybody if you've got a little bit lost trying to find me here. I'm a couple of minutes late. 3 videos went off on YouTube this morning without a hitch, right? 3 videos launched absolutely bang on time. I came to the live that I'd scheduled, and for some reason or other, it hadn't linked through to the group. So I'm hoping, having sat there for a few minutes and thought, nobody knows where to find me. I couldn't find me on the Facebook group. So I'm hoping you can find me now. And in a few minutes, I am going to do a live reading. I'm just going to give it a minute and see if anybody joins us. And just to double check, if I can get my way back to the top, that we are actually going live now in the group. Because if not, I think I might have some issues with StreamYard and the group. This could be interesting because this is a first. I've done several, as you know, I've done a number. Oh yeah, we're there. Good. Right, I'm going to mark that as an announcement. So that will now be at the top. Woohoo! And I'll do that with everything else for the rest of the day. So we are there. Technical issues out the way for the first live reading. We'll be away after this. It's all go and all downhill from here. So welcome to the amazing Brain Unchained. I loved being able to sit back and watch from an outside point of view this morning. I can remember to look at the camera, looking at you today. I'm not having a conversation today with somebody else. I can look at you. I'm here for you today. So it was absolutely amazing being able to sit back with a cup of coffee, albeit I've still been very busy doing techie admin bits in the background and chasing messages. But it was lovely to be able to sit back and rewatch the interviews and to sort of sit back with an almost objective point of view today and listen to what Laboshi and Tosin and Matthew all had to say about their views on the launch of Brain Unchained. And it's incredible to think that Tosin said in 26 years of working in the mindset industry, he has never seen anything like this. And Laboshi, again, as soon as she even heard the concept of this, said DVG Star Publishers need to be my editor. She said they needed a bit, and they took me on straight away. So to have people who are experienced in the industry say such amazing things like that about Brain Unchained, like literally my first edit. I think there will be a version 2 because I spoke to my daughter yesterday and she went, did you know this? And I thought, no, don't tell me yet. We'll go through it all again later. So I'm not nitpicking. It was one of the most amazing things Tosin taught me through this process was done beats perfect. I could have spent 6 months perfecting it, but with the way emotions are right now, especially in teenagers and young adults, the suicide rates are higher than they've ever been. This pandemic is a killer in more ways than one. It's not just the virus, the killer. Emotions are a massive killer too. And they destroy lives, even if they don't kill somebody and they don't take the life. Emotions are a massive destroyer of life and quality of life. This book is needed. So I just had to get it done. So done beats perfect. So yes, it's not all perfect inside, but the main thing is it's here and it helps, and it's the content that matters more than anything, is what we're sharing with you. So welcome to the launch today. Glad you've, we have some people in the room. Hi, and thank you for joining me. Pop a hi in, say good morning, and all the rest of it. I don't know what to do in my hands today. I'm so excited to finally be on the launch. So I have to bear with my absolutely elevated energy levels today. It's quite interesting actually, because it's like a day of celebration, but at the same time, obviously being sympathetic to the fact that it is about people struggling with depression and emotional challenges and possibly even suicide and other issues, self-harming and things like that. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to do a reading from the book. If you can bear with me, I'm going to read about 4 pages if I can within a few minutes. There's a little bit I want to share, and it's from the section in the introductory section. It's the part called Hitting Rock Bottom. And I'm not going to read right from the very beginning, but from page 38. There's a story. So I'm going to share with you a short story from the book. And there's a little bit at the end It just explains a little bit about why this book is important. It's a piece that I'm really looking forward to sharing with lots of people. So here we go, my first live reading. So this is a short story. Soon after passing my driving test, I wanted to drive from Norfolk to Kent to see my grandmother. My boyfriend at that time came with me. I took all the directions from my father and wrote them down. I was driving. Oh, sorry, my boyfriend had the map and the list of instructions. I was driving. There were no mobile phones or internet in those days, so we had a traditional paper map. On the way there, I pretty much knew my way out of Norfolk, and I followed the road signs with my father's instructions still fresh in my head. I took a left exit at the end of the first motorway, and once in Kent, I knew my way to my grandmother's house, as it was pretty much home territory too, having lived there when I was younger. We had a great day visiting my grandmother and one of my aunts too. Coming back home, though, was a little different. That left turn at the end of the motorway going there became an exit in the middle of another motorway coming back, and I missed the signpost. So did my boyfriend, who was assigned to watch for the signpost while I focused on the traffic. A Mini at 70 miles an hour is no match for a lorry, even when you are going the same way. Before we knew it, instead of going through the Dartford Tunnel, we found ourselves heading towards the Blackwall Tunnel. My dad had said, if you miss one, it's not a disaster, just take the Blackwall Tunnel. I asked my boyfriend to get the map out and redirect us, but I didn't feel lost yet. This was the point where my boyfriend finally decided it was time to own up. He couldn't read a map. He had been hoping I would just remember the way. He had no idea how to work out where we were. He couldn't find the starting point, so I had no idea to plan the journey forward. I was great at reading a map, as I'd always read maps for my father while he was driving. But I also wasn't so good at reading the signs en route. The problem was I was driving and couldn't pull over on the motorway, so just had to keep going. First it was the motorway I couldn't stop on, and then we were in Blackwall Tunnel. All good so far, but again, I wasn't good at reading the signs, and before I knew it, we were in the wrong lane. I couldn't change lanes as the traffic was too heavy and moving too fast, and I was stuck in the left lane the entire tunnel and out of the other end. The lane turned left and we had to follow it. We found ourselves being forced into the middle of London City. It all happened so quickly for me as a driver, but for him it seemed like that moment of eternity, trying to match waypoints to some random piece of paper with lines all over it, and no clue how to find the information we needed. He was giving me all the wrong directions, and I, in my panic, misread the signs. Soon we were in one-way streets of London with traffic works and double yellow lines everywhere. And I could not pull up anywhere for almost an hour. We blindly drove on through the dark and sometimes round in circles. Finally, I could stop and take the map from him to plot our way home. I finally had the map across the steering wheel, but where was I right now? I didn't know. I was truly lost. Let's stop to think for a minute. We'd hit rock bottom on our quest to finding our way home. Let's look at the effects of this journey on both our emotions. It was cold and getting late. Our emotions were not happy, and we argued. I was frustrated at what was happening and embarrassed at being lost. I had no one to ask directions from. He was frustrated at the pressure of making decisions he wasn't trained to make, and embarrassed at not being able to help. I was annoyed with myself for missing that signpost. I was tired as I drove home in the dark, and I felt lost and drained emotionally as well as literally. We had ended up much further from home than we should have. We'd gone in the wrong direction. It took a while to take stock of our surroundings and locate our position on the map. Finally, we could head towards home again. As you can imagine, a 2.5 hour journey now turned into 4 hours. But as Lao Tzu's wisdom says, every mile, it took us 1 mile closer to home. So emotional journeys are just the same as physical journeys. If you can't understand the directions your emotions are telling you, and you don't see the signs on the way, then how can you avoid getting lost? Or take stock of where you are, map your emotions out, and find your way back again. This is why you are likely to hit rock bottom, and where that mind map, and here, this is it, can be a powerful tool to help you. So can you see why hitting rock bottom is not the end of your journey? Rock bottom is the moment that you've realized how lost you are and the start of your journey in the right direction. So that, ladies and gentlemen, my first reading about why it's so important to learn the concepts in the first quarter of this book. And there is a lot of wisdom in there like this about why it's important to recognize all of your core emotions, to recognize the power of understanding the dynamics of those emotions in terms of where they all sit, about the power of inner and outer change. Recognize about positive and negative emotions. I just go, best way for me to glance at the index. So it's also about understanding why you're your own expert, about understanding your own emotions. Strategies for thinking, okay, so I'm lost. Get everything out, get it on paper, mind map it all out, and find a way to get a clear start. So this is another good way with mind maps. And again, there's a whole section in here just to talk you through doing mind maps and how to use them effectively. And then actually being able to find that starting point, knowing when you're lost, hitting rock bottom. And once you understand the full concept behind all of that, it gives you every reason in the world to actually learn to recognize those moments coming. And instead of that rock bottom being like this really big cycle where you hit real deep rock bottom, you manage to reduce it and reduce it and reduce it. So over time, you learn to keep that rock bottom from dropping quite so deep and dark and low, and are able to stop and pull yourself out much sooner, and learn to transform from early journeys to make further journeys in your life much easier. Everything's a learning curve. Thank you for joining me on my first reading today. This is such a delight to be able to be at this point. If you have any questions, anybody's had any questions at all, I'm going to just check, so bear with me while I look away. I'm just going to check the Facebook group as well. I haven't seen any questions in there yesterday, but it was very odd that it just seemed to have disappeared out of the schedule. So hopefully everybody can find this. If not, it'll be on replay for the rest of the day. And I will be back with more readings. I don't seem to have any questions at the moment. Oh, it does seem to come up. I was playing twice. But anyway, we will see you back here at 11 o'clock. We have a live session. It was going to be music, but it's now going to be coffee with me. So get the kettle on, come back with a coffee. We're going to do some quizzes. I'm thinking about a competition. I'm 100% yet, but I'm thinking about competition and setting something off. I've got half an hour to plan it. And I've got lots of word games as well for a bit later. So come and see me again at 11 o'clock with your coffee in hand. See you later. Bye.